I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Roll call. On my far left, Eric Crumble.
Harper.
Very good. Next item, minutes. Had a chance to go through.
I didn't see anything. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from, is that April 25th?
Have a motion before the board. May I have a second? No further discussion. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Old business.
No old business tonight, so we'll move on to our new business item. Docket VAR-372-2022, Hickory Estates Lot 1 driveway variance. The petitioner is requesting a development standards variance to permit a 35-foot wide residential driveway. Subject property is located at 4981 Hickory Estates Boulevard. Property is zoned R1. The petitioner is Doug Reasoner. So this is, as I said, a proposed a residential driveway that would be located or accessed off of a private alley. This is a common feature in Hickory Estates subdivision that was developed originally under the county. And a lot of the driveways in that subdivision are located on private alleys. This one is no different than that. Staff received an application for the building permit back in August. And this was their original proposal to have a 35-foot wide driveway. The zoning ordinance limits residential driveways to 20 feet wide. They submitted a compliant plot plan and moved forward with their building permit. They are in construction right now, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. They are now they're wanting to come back and get an approval to install that original 35-foot wide driveway. This is, the driveway's not been poured or anything like that. This is a site photo submitted by the petitioner just in the last couple of weeks. The driveway is about 18 feet deep. And normally driveways are about 26 feet deep on average that we get in town. Proposed the lot sizes in Hickory Estates are also significantly smaller than our average R1 lot sizes. Again, this was developed in the county, so not under current standards, but it is a condition of the site that is can't really work with. So the statutory decision criteria for development standards variances are on your screen in your packets for your reference. Staff is recommending that the board approve the development standards variance. Petitioner is here tonight to answer any questions of the board. This is a public hearing.
Okay. Before we get started, would you like to? Thank you.
Anyone here to speak on any of the petitions tonight, not just this one, or even if you think you might want to speak, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
That's going to change the word.
Never know.
Good boss.
Thank you. If the petitioner is here, would they like to come forward? Please, and identify yourself.
I am Doug Reasoner. I am the petitioner for the driveway variance. It was pretty well stated what the situation is. We have a 3-car garage, and the only way to access it would be with the variance to have a wider driveway.
questions for the petitioner? I think it's pretty straightforward.
I guess the only question I have is that it was approved for the 20-foot, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
It was approved for the 20-foot driveway.
Apparently, yes, I think the builder
Through
did.
the county.
No, that would be.
The builder submitted a compliant site plan after it was noted.
Oh, okay.
At this point, the driveway has not been poured.
Right, no, I understand
With that in mind, we need to open the public hearing,
Yes, sir.
and the public hearing is now open. Are there anyone in there, or is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to this or ask questions? No? Okay. Public hearing is open. I have no further questions or comments. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve variance 000372-2022 Hickory Estates Lot 1 driveway variance.
I have a motion before the board. Do I have a second?
You got the second?
I have a motion before the board. I have a second. I think we can dispense with going the roll call.
Your rules actually say you're supposed to do roll call.
Still supposed to.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, my roll call vote. Eric Earl, aye.
Rowena Umbarger, aye.
Larry Hughes, aye. And the motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I just wanted to jump up really quick for clarifications. We have a few folks in the audience for the next case. We are a 5-member board. Any action by the board requires a quorum or majority of the membership, which is 3. So any actions tonight have to be unanimous action. Approval, denial. Anyway, I just want to make that clear so that everyone in the audience.
Just for my note of clarity, if we're 2-1 on anything, then it just gets bumped a month to come back and hopefully we get more people showing up next month. Okay. Doesn't necessarily kill it, just means we punt it for a month.
I just want to make sure it gets come back in 6 months or something.
1 year.
So next up, we actually have a rule suspension request that pertains to the next scheduled public hearing for docket VAR 373-2022. So this explanation is on page 10 of your packets, and the petitioner is requesting a suspension of the 15-day newspaper notice under the Rules Article 11, which does permit the board to suspend the rules by unanimous vote of the quorum. They got their newspaper ad more than the statutory 10 days, but they did not meet that 15-day minimum per their correspondence, and in their letter, they tried to get a hold of the Journal and had some communication problems, and the Journal did not get that in the newspaper in time. So petitioner is here if you would have any questions of them, but this would need to be decided upon before we could move forward with any of the public hearings tonight. And I'll, of course, defer to Ellen if you have any questions procedurally also.
Again, 13 days. It wasn't back to backward. Personally.
So what do we need to vote on that? Motion is there. I don't know. I personally don't have a problem with it, but I appreciate 15 days, and I would rather have that, but
And I can't say that I'm shocked that they tried on the 6th and didn't hear back from, or tried before and then didn't hear back from the Journal until it was too late. That doesn't solve that surprising.
well, they missed delivering my paper 4 times in the last 2 weeks.
Again,
Started on that.
color me shocked.
Yeah, thank sorry for you.
Even if-
And I mean, I understand trying to hold the daily journal, because it was the same thing, and the number they tell you to call is disconnected or something. So,
So I appreciate the effort, and I'm not shocked that it didn't get the response back in time. So I mean, I'm
in the fact that it was within the 10-day
correct.
statutorily, it just didn't meet Barbara's
Yeah.
bills.
So this was about almost 2 months notice. But I'll make a motion to approve the suspension of the BZA rule, Article 9, Section 1, for the variance request 373-2022, the Fat House fabrications.
I second that.
And the motion before the board, may I have a second? By roll call vote.
Eric Arnold, aye.
Rowena Umbarger, aye.
Larry Hughes, aye. And the motion carries.
So then we'll officially move on to our next new business item, which is the aforementioned docket, Fat House Fabrications use variance. The petitioner is requesting a use variance to expand an auto manufacturing use. The subject property is located at 9685 Old State Road 37. Property is zone C4. Petitioner is JDJ Industries LLC. So this is located out northwest of the future I-69 interchange with 144. This is an existing business that opened in 2013. So before this zoning ordinance went into effect in 2015. They are, as they will, I'm sure, explain their business. They are light manufacturing, auto-oriented use. And that is under the current zoning ordinance, not normally permitted by right or special exception. So they are requesting, as an existing non-conforming use, to expand that use. Specifically, they have needed to expand their type of manufacturing, and that will also necessitate at a later at a point to demolish an existing building on site and then construct a new one. So that way they have adequate room for their equipment and all of the equipment they need to safely perform the work. And there are 2 other existing buildings on site that support this use. The comprehensive plan does designate this area as mixed use. So this falls in line still with that vision in the comprehensive plan. The petitioner can go further into it, but they did not anticipate any additional traffic or anything that would increase any kind of burden on the surrounding property. The 5 decision criteria for use variances are on your screen and in your packets for your reference. Staff is recommending that the board approve the use variance. Petitioners here tonight to answer any questions. This is a public hearing.
Petitioner would like to come forward. And identify yourself, sir.
My name is Ben Stoner. I'm the Vice President of Fat House Fabrications. I'm here tonight with John and Jeremy, my 2 business partners. First of all, thank you for approving the newspaper. That was a stressful thing. We were worried about that, so we do appreciate that. She pretty much wrapped up what we're doing here. We've been in business since 2012. 3 of us, childhood friends, started a business, lived the American dream. We just want to continue doing that. We're going to tear down a structure that's in pretty poor shape and put up a nice new building that'll look nicer and provide a safe place for our employees to work and income for the county, obviously, as well. We have contracts with Shelby American to build some pretty cool cars across the country and even across the world, ship parts all over the world. It's an exciting time for us. We're growing and we'd like to stay here and we'd like to put up a building. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you.
Yep, on the construction over there right now.
It's a bit of a mess. Yeah, our road's closed and we have to go through the gravel. We have to trailer cars in and out of the shop right now, keep them clean. So
That's a disaster over there.
yeah, that's fun.
Questions from the board?
I mean, I guess one question I had, and then the reason this needs a variance is because they're putting a new building up. They were grandfathered in, but because it's a new
They're
construction
expanding.
and extends the footprint a little bit, it requires the,
Right.
even though fundamentally nothing is really changing, it just is a extension of the grandfather, basically.
Thank you.
We will open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak?
My name's Randy Cobb. I live on, well, Portwell Drive, right across the street from you guys. My only thing was when we got the letter was about the light manufacturing. Can you explain to us what that means, light manufacturing?
Sure.
I mean, in the auto industry, I know a lot of people that work in the industry, and when you're cleaning manufactured parts, are using acidic-based products. And I don't know if you guys do, if you're gonna be powder coating or what you're gonna be doing, I mean, cleaning stuff. I'm just worried about any kind of cleaning agents getting into the water table.
Sure.
Because we don't have public utilities over there, and I mean, my well angles back toward your property, so that's the only thing that, I mean, that I really have. I mean, I drive by your guys' place every day. You guys do some amazing work. I have no problem with any of that. I just want to make sure with the expansion, if you're gonna be manufacturing new things, and I'm just curious as to what it is that you're going to be doing to expand the business, which I know most all of us in the neighborhood have no problem with. It's just, what are you gonna be using, you know, what type of materials and what possible exposures can it have for us?
Sure.
Go ahead, stand up and go back up.
Please. Continue the parade.
I'm sorry.
Continue the parade.
Yes. Yeah, so to answer your question, I mean, we're not offering any new manufacturing different than what we do now. We manufacture some high quality aluminum, stainless fabricated coolant tanks and reservoirs and things like that. We're doing any in-house powder coating or painting or anything like that. So the extent of what we'll be doing is the same thing we're doing now. So mostly just sheet metal parts welded together. We don't even manufacture or cut the sheet metal in-house. Most of that stuff's cut off-site and sent to us, bent up. We assemble and weld there. So we won't be introducing any kind of chemicals or smells or anything like that.
No smells other than burnt rubber.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The main reason for what we're doing is that building.
If you would be,
Oh,
please.
sorry, guys. My name is John Lucas, one of the owners of the company. You got any address or anything? No. Okay. So the main reason we're doing this, the structure size and the building isn't going to really increase much over what's currently there. It's a really old building that has a lot of problems. And then furthermore, it's a pole barn. So there's poles every 10 foot, which isn't conclusive for moving cars and machinery and stuff like that around. Plus it's really low ceiling. So it's really a useless building for us now, and we need more room. So that's really what the expansion is about.
Increased power needs and stuff, I'm sure as well.
So when we first moved in there, we already addressed the power needs because that building, so the primary building we use is the one with the silver roof.
It butts up to one that's going down.
Correct. And that one is, so this was originally a Frontier's Ready Post. They manufactured horse carriages and buggies, which, by the way, was a much more chemically type business. They did like a powder coating type stuff there, and that sort of stuff. There's actually a paint booth in that building that will be demolished and stuff as well that we don't use. But so if anything, we're going to be a little bit cleaner operators than what were there previously before us. But that building, to the power question, the building that was there was just used for storage. It had a very small panel in there for electricity. So when we moved in there, we put a new 800 amp total. So for that building, we ran 400 amps to that, and then had a new 400 amp ready for the building because we planned on tearing that down at some point anyway. So the power has been there for 10 years or so, or 8 years. So
Cool.
Anyone else like to speak to this?
So, I'm Michael O'Neill. I live at 9525 Old Staker 37, so I'm the neighbor south of them. And I don't have any problem with them tearing down that building, what they are doing.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
If no one else is here to speak, we will close the public hearing. Any further discussion?
I move that we approve variance, 373-2022, That House Fabrications use variance, and that it should run with the ownership and not with the land.
A second.
Have a motion before the board, and have a second. Any further discussion? If not, I will call vote.
Eric Crum, aye.
For one out of aye.
Mary Hughes, aye. And the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone else for being here. We appreciate that.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Okay. So our next item on the agenda is actually a request to re-docket a petition.
Thank you. Thanks, we go.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome to stay if you like.
I'll get on more.
It's exciting stuff.
This is a petition to re-docket a case that was previously denied last month, the Aberdeen Lot 15 architectural variance, which was under docket VAR 368/2022. Staff received this request by the petitioner's representative on the 29th of April, which included revised architectural elevations, which are included in your packet for your reference. This increased the amount of masonry on the first story elevations from the previous petition. And those changes in the from the original petition to the current, or to their new proposed ones, are in your packet as well. So under your rules, Article 6, Section 5, no petition which has been denied by the board can be placed on the docket for public hearing within a period of 1 year from that decision, unless the board finds there is a substantial change in the petition or circumstances affecting the petition, in which case the matter may be placed on a docket only if a motion to permit that redocketing is adopted by the board. So staff or legal would be happy to answer any procedural questions, but this is a board decision.
We know if there's anything been said, maybe I'll wait for you. Is this a public hearing?
This is not a public hearing.
I say that, I'm assuming you're here on behalf of this, if the room is empty and this is the last one.
That would be up to the board if you would like to.
I was just curious if any of this has been taken, because I know there were 3 or 4 community members that were here last month, if these changes have been taken to them, and if they had any input, yeah, please.
And identify yourself again.
Yeah. Sure. Because I just don't want to approve this, have it come next month, and then have 6 angry community members here, because we haven't done enough yet. Or you haven't done enough yet.
I'm Mike Ballner, we're going over, we're building the house, lot 15 Aberdeen. And to answer your question, yes, we went to Melanie Piper. She's received the new layout that you guys have with the stone. She sent me an email with approval. We did the same thing with Jared Applegate. He sent me an email with approval and did the same thing with Ryan Hayes. So all 3 that were here at that meeting last week have seen the new layouts with the additional stone, and they're good with it. So, yeah.
And we need significant overall increases in the masonry that's going to be visible on the item. We can take it further next month, but I'm okay with this. Bring it to the table for review next month.
So this would be put on next month.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it would be eligible to be be put on the docket for next month.
Yeah, they would still need to file
Sure.
the application, but that deadline is Friday, so it could conceivably show up on next month.
And we would need to vote on that, is that correct?
Yes. So, it would be a motion to permit the re-docketing of Aberdeen Lot 15 architectural development standards variance. Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the redocking request for Aberdeen Lot 15 architectural development standard variance.
I have a motion before the board, is that second? I have a second. If no further discussion, I roll call.
Aye.
Roll out, Parker, aye.
Brady, aye. See you next month, okay?
We've got two findings of fact for you this evening. The first of which is for VAR 366-2022 Golden Age Healthcare wall sign variance. This is starting on page 21 of your packets, and it's an item for your approval.
I move that we approve, findings of fact for docket VAR 366-2022. Petition for development standards, variance, Golden Age Healthcare sign development standards.
I'll second.
I have a motion before the board, and I have a second by roll call.
Aye.
Roll out, Parker, aye.
Hughes, aye.
Next up is findings of fact for docket VAR 368-2022 Aberdeen Lot 15 architectural variance. As a reminder, these are findings for the denial of the variance, which is the board adopts findings for approvals and denials of variances. So this is an item for your approval.
I'll approve the findings of fact for variance 368-2022, the Aberdeen Lot 15 architectural standard variance.
Before the board, I have a second. By roll call. Aye.
Roll out, Parker, aye.
Hughes, aye.
Unless Joe has any other business, staff doesn't have anything else for the board tonight, so.
I will make a motion to, unless you have anything else on that well. Oh, that'd be too much, my fault. We're both excited to end this thing. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion before the board, and I have a second by roll call. Your call.